The ceasefire in the Middle East is holding tonight, nearly a day after it went into effect. But now there's doubt about the extent of the success of the U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities as protests against the strikes ramps up at home. That's why the tensions in the Middle East are our top story again tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spence.
I'm Courtney Bryant. While the conflict may be half a world away, people here at home are still deeply invested.
We are learning tonight U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend sealed 2 facility entrances, but apparently did not destroy the bunkers. That's according to the New York Times, which cites a preliminary U.S. intelligence assessment that says the damage set Iran's program back just a few months.
Before the attack, experts said Iran needed 3 months to build a bomb. Now the Defense Intelligence Agency says the breakout time is less than 6 months. Former officials warn Iran could still rush to make a crude device. A miniaturized warhead would take longer.
People here in Georgia are reacting to the strikes, and we have team coverage for you tonight. Fox 5's Rob DiRienzo spoke one-on-one with Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was at odds tonight with the White House.
But we begin with Fox 5's Christopher King, who is at Freedom Park in Northeast Atlanta, where a protest is taking place. Christopher, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Courtney, Russ, this is where they rallied a short time ago. About 150 or so demonstrators, if you can believe that, crowded Freedom Park. It wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. They carried signs reading "Not Another War." It was a peaceful protest and vigil. They demonstrated against the Trump administration launching a military strike against Iran this past weekend. They lit candles. They chanted "No to War." So how did we get here? Well, Israel launched surprise attacks against Iran earlier this month. Israel said they did it to cripple Iran's ability to build nuclear weapons. The two nations volleyed strikes against each other for several days. The Trump administration says this past weekend it hit Iran's nuclear sites. This even though U.S. intelligence agency says Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. We spoke with protesters. Here's what they said.
This is one of the most violent expressions that we can imagine, is the dropping of bombs on people. And so we're all saying no to war, no exceptions. There should be no attacks. There should be no bombing. The idea that dropping a bomb could bring peace is in and of itself absurd.
The president justified the military strike against Iran. He calls Iran a nation that sponsors terrorism. Then the president announced a ceasefire. But Israel accused Iran of launching missiles into Israeli airspace after the truce was supposed to take effect. Iran denies that claim. The president claims the ceasefire deal is still in effect, but he lashed out at both Iran and Israel.
As soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that.
Now, back out here live at Freedom Park, there was a brief moment when police had to intervene. Protesters claim a man in the crowd threatened to punch them. Officers quickly brought that to order. Now, aside from that, it was a vocal but peaceful protest and vigil. For now, we are live at Freedom Park. Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
Christopher, thank you for the perspective there. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has been critical of President Trump's decision to bomb Iran. The North Georgia Congresswoman, a staunch ally of the president, says the U.S. should have let Israel handle the conflict itself.
As we wait to see whether this ceasefire will stick, she's finding common ground in some surprising places. Today, the Congresswoman spoke one-on-one with Fox 5's Rob DiRienzo. And Rob, this is really opening up a divide in the MAGA base.
That's right, guys. And this is an issue that is causing a divide actually on both sides of the aisle. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote on X, President Donald Trump's decision to bomb Iranian nuclear sites felt like a bait and switch. But she made it clear to me today she still stands by the president.
Do you think President Trump made a mistake by bombing Iran? I think President Trump did what he thought was necessary, and I would never judge him because I didn't receive the information that he received.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene welcoming news Tuesday afternoon of a potential ceasefire between Israel and Iran. But she says this weekend's U.S. bombings in Iran have caused a divide in the MAGA base.
We campaigned on no more foreign wars, no more regime change, and I think after over 20 years of the Middle East, Americans are really sick and tired of war in the Middle East.
Meanwhile, 99 Georgia State House Republicans and 1 Democrat have signed a resolution praising Mr. Trump for, quote, unwavering support for our Democratic allies and, quote, condemning Iranian aggression, its military arms, and global terrorist proxies.
This is one of those issues that cuts across partisan politics. Republicans have an internationalist wing and an isolationist wing.
Brian Robinson, a Republican strategist and Georgia Gang panelist, says what happens next in the Middle East could make or break support for the president.
This is one where Trump has to pass the test, or it could be very damning to his approval numbers.
Americans need help. We've got problems at home.
Republicans like Greene have found rare common ground with some on the left who are also against U.S. involvement in the fighting.
This is one of those times where I think a lot of Democrats are having their mind blown a little bit, saying, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I agree with MTG.
And Congresswoman Greene tells me intelligence officials will give Congress a classified briefing on the conflict on Friday. We will have an extended version of my conversation with her on our Fox Local app. Guys.
Well, with all the differing opinions just among the president's base of support, it seems like he does have a pretty tight line to walk here to kind of please everyone.
Yeah, and as Robinson said, it's really going to be key on the outcome of what actually happens in the Middle East.
Yeah. Right. If Iran races to a bomb in 3, 4, 6 months, then perhaps they'll look back on this and wish they hadn't done it this way.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens, Rob.
Thanks Rob.
Very much. Now, Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter is praising the president's handling of the war with Iran. He nominated President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in brokering the ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Carter says President Trump took bold steps to broker peace, which will save thousands of lives worldwide. According to the Nobel Prize website, 338 people have been nominated for the award so far this year.
A family vacation took a terrifying turn for some Atlanta residents who were visiting loved ones when the war broke out in Iran. The family of 4 say they arrived in Iran on June 12th. Israel's massive airstrike targeting the nuclear and military sites was launched on their second day in the country. After that, there was a nightly barrage of missile fire.
Missiles is going off, like the sound was crazy. That part was really terrifying that we had to hear it every night.
The family was able to cross the border into Turkey to reach safety.
You know, the conflict between Israel and Iran seems to change by the hour. Head to our website, fox5atlanta.com, or the Fox Local app for the latest on the tensions in the Middle East. We have articles like this one with the latest developments from around the world, how world leaders are responding, and the protests here at home.
All right, let's turn our attention back here at home to the weather. Things are still feeling pretty steamy out there this late at night.
Yeah, the heat was extreme this afternoon. As you say, it's not cooling down.